Lesson 40, memorizing all of your music and all of your skills that you learned up to this point. You must memorize whatever it is you're learning. This will allow you to focus on your hands, your left hand, your right hand, where the bow is, where your fingers are, and not looking at the notes. It's wonderful to learn music or from any method book that has notes and tells you what to do, such as Learn Violin Fast, but make sure that whatever skill you're practicing at the moment, you have it in your mind and you don't need to look at the notes. Because if you're not looking at your hands, it's impossible to know if your left hand position is proper, if your wrist is up and you're squeezing like crazy, if your fingers are curved, if they're on the right place, where your bow is, how you hold the bow. So books and written notes are fantastic, and it's how we have to learn. Make sure that especially at the beginning stages, you memorize whatever it is you know so that you can look and focus on your hands and you have more information about what's happening. So before we move on and we'll learn about left hand position with the violin on shoulder, grab a piece of paper and write out what are the strings of the violin. What are the rules for adding fingers? How many different notes we have? How many subdivisions? When you add a particular note, you can make a diagram of the violin and you can just write down 1 on G makes A, 2 on G makes B, go through the entire violin fingerboard and all the fingers. Write down the notes for hot cross buns, write down the notes for twinkle, for jingle bells, write down the fingerings. Make sure that your mind has very clear maps of what your hands have to do. Because violin is so awkward and weird, you're going to really have to look at your hands to make sure that you can execute those motions properly. So before we go on and we'll learn how to play with the proper left hand position, make sure you have all the things that we learned as far memorized. You can grab a piece of paper and write down the songs, fingerings, letters, and some basic rules about how the violin works. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next video where we're going to learn how to properly hold left hand in violin shoulder, position. Thanks for watching. See you next lesson.